what's up? It's Bianca here and
Carter.
also Chili. Where is Chili? Hey, say hi, Chili. Chili is just chilling as usual. And I just want to say welcome, 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 welcome. If you have never heard about us, my name is Bianca. That's Carter. This is Chili. We are also known as Off the Grid with the Kid. Carter, come around this way. Yeah, there we go. We are also known as Off the Grid with the Kid. And currently we are hosting this amazing series called The First 30 Days of Van Life. And so we are really making this series because there's a lot of people that want to learn how to be nomadic or how to try this van lifestyle out for themselves. And so what we're doing is taking the time out to settle down and share all of our information, all of our resources and so forth with you. Please pardon us, we don't have a tripod right now. This is like live footage of us. We're actually parked right outside of a gas station that we slept at last night while we were traveling cross country all the way up until about 3 hours ago, where we pretty much a turn of events happened due to the corona madness. But anyway, the show goes on. We're still going to produce content for you all because the internet still works, right? So, excuse me, Carter, I'm going to try to prop this up real quick. Is there anything we can prop the camera up with? I'm going to give you guys some time to join us in this video. Oh, no, it's okay. I think I'm going to prop it up on my laptop instead. All right, bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm going to try to prop this up on my laptop. Wait, excuse me, Carter, hold on. All right. This is not working for me. I'm not liking this. Okay, it's not tall enough. Okay, I may just hold this. Yeah, I might just hold this. Okay. So what I have done is over the next 30 to 45 days, I'm going to be covering a lot of topics, that have to do with van life, but really they can pertain to anyone that just wants to live nomadic or work remotely, because there's a lot of resources that are out there today that can allow you to be able to work from anywhere so that you can have the freedom and the flexibility that you may have always dreamed of, so that when emergencies or special occasions arise, you don't have to ask a boss for permission to be off work, or when you're sick, you don't have to worry about sick days, or when your child wants to be at home, if you just want to spend more time with your loved ones and so forth. There's a lot of resources that you can take advantage of that can really just make the possibility a reality for you. And that's really what we're going to be talking about over the next 30 days, because there has never been a time more like now where you can be nomadic and it's acceptable, it's fun, it's worth it. And it's not always easy, but it definitely is easier than working a job that you absolutely hate, living in a house or an apartment that you hate living in because expenses are so high, and it's better than trying to keep up with the Joneses. So I'm drinking coconut water right now out of our new smoothie straw. It feels a little weird because I kind of feel like I'm eating. Okay. Oh, speaking of which, Carter, where's that cell phone at? Okay. Wait, where is it? No, the other one. Where?
It's there.
Can you get it? Okay. So, okay. I see that some people are online. I just want to say also that this video is meant to be, it's recorded live because it's meant to be a discussion as well. For those of you that can jump online and want to engage with us, it is kind of spontaneous, just because we wanted to do something that was going to be more planned and announced. But right now is a crazy time for everyone. So we just decided that we're not going to worry about delays. We're just going to put out the content, and then whenever whoever can reach it or watch it later, then it'll be here for you. But don't hesitate to comment and in the description, or not in the description, but in the comment box at a later time, and we'll get to your questions if you missed this video. So jumping right along here, and pardon me because I've taken some notes from a blog that I'm writing as well, for those of you who would prefer to read. Um, but I wrote out this blog and I'm going to use it as a guide to keep me on track because I don't want to miss anything that is meant to be discussed when looking for the van of your dreams. All right, so moving right along. I remember the day, or actually it was probably about a good week, that I realized that I could do van life. And what was a defining moment for me was my son and I were traveling full time for about 9 months, and we were on planes and Airbnbs, and we simply just grew exhausted, and finances were also getting tight. And I started thinking, this lifestyle of traveling full time is amazing, and it's actually a lot cheaper than what I ever expected it to be. And I was just trying to think, how can I keep this going? It dawned upon me that I had the freedom and finally the flexibility to do something so bizarre as I once thought, as live in a van. So the first step was right away, I started shopping online for like a van to live in, but it wasn't just a van. The first van that came to mind, it was like I had a vision. I thought about the exact van that we're in right now. I wanted to have like a groovy kind of hippie feel, and I wanted it to have like all the neatest little amenities in it that we could utilize on a daily basis, that were not going to make us feel like we just like were living in a vehicle, but really living in a motorhome. So anyways, I lost sleep looking for the perfect van, and then I remember the moment that the listing was there and I saw pictures of the van that I am in today. And I remember thinking like the price was too good to be true. It was only $4,900. And I wanted this van so bad. I got aggressive. I was messaging the owner. I said, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. The deal, I thought it was a scam because the guy wanted me to like pay him half up front, and then he still wanted to like live in it for another 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And it was just crazy. So anyway, fast forward, got a last minute ticket to Buffalo, New York, bought the van, dropped the guy off at the airport. It's been our van ever since. I'm so glad that I was aggressive and that I just trusted my gut, because this is literally the van of my dreams. So in this video, I want to help you find the van of your dreams, because what is really important is to understand that the vehicle that you select for your van life journey is literally going to decide your daily activities and ultimately how comfortable you're going to be in it and how long you end up doing this lifestyle, because comfort is very important. Luckily, every single rig is, you can renovate it. However, if you don't know what a rig is just like a slang for whatever type of trailer or RV that you have. So, for example, if you are looking at vans and RVs, if you want something like ours, which I highly recommend, it has a lot of pros. The only cons are that the gas mileage is bad, and really that's about it. And so what I like about our van is that it can fit in a normal parking spot. We can plug it up because it's sure power, so we can plug it into a house or into a campground, and we can power all our devices. But even if we don't plug it in, we can still utilize all of our devices by propane or electric, because we have a house battery and a main battery. And so overall, it has every single thing that a normal house has. So it's a lot of bonuses for us, because we have a shower, a toilet, an oven. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen our van, but like, this is our oven right there. We have the refrigerators right there, and then behind me right there is actually a shower tub, and there's our toilet. We have a little closet back there. We are on one of the beds right now. I'll show you guys. This is my situation right now. This is one of the beds, and then this is the top bunk right here. This bed actually comes out. So what that means is that 4 people can be in this van comfortably, And that is another thing that makes me very excited to have this van, because we can invite our friends to camp with us. And we've done this so many times. So it's a 1989 Ford Econoline. These vans are actually quite tricky to find, but they're still out there. I would recommend shopping somewhere in the somewhere on the West Coast, or anywhere where it does not, where vehicles don't tend to rust easily, because then you'll be able to find one in really good shape. And so anyway, moving right along, let's talk more about what kind of van or RV you want, okay? So as I go to my notes here, making sure I stay on track, what I would suggest is to, before you go shopping for your van or RV, think about the type of lifestyle that you want to live with it. Because sometimes, if you have not tried the van life journey, you might look at it as if it's a fantasy, and you might imagine yourself always in like these beautiful exotic destinations, but that's not full reality, like 24/7, because most full-timers in fact do a lot of stealth camping. Stealth camping, if you don't know what it is when you camp underneath the radar, usually with a van or RV that is more discreet. So pretty much it can be parked somewhere and no one would think that someone's sleeping in it. If you have an RV or a van that's like painted, it's all flashy, you've got follow me or stickers all over it, that's not really stealth friendly, and it'll be more of a red flag. And to me, it's also a safety hazard, because I don't know about you, but I don't want anybody following me if I'm doing van life. I'm not putting follow me, here's my Instagram title, because then people can know what's in your van. They know who's driving it and so forth. Our van, on the outside, there could be an older couple that lives in here. You don't know who it is, right? And so just give you an idea, because that's a big mistake a lot of people make, is they buy these vans or RVs and they start, like pimping them out on the outside, and it's like, don't make your van so attractive, because you're going to be doing a lot of stealth camping, and stealth camping is free. Otherwise, you'll be paying sometimes $40 a night to camp at campgrounds and stuff like that, because there's nowhere else where you'll be able to camp unless you're going to camp in like BLM land, Bureau Land Management. Those are that's public land that you can actually camp on for free most of the time. And so if you work a remote job and you work online, obviously you're not going to be far out in rural land. So you want to be, going into the city more often. Well, will your van or RV be suitable for that? Can you park it in parking lots, right? Can you drive your vehicle to Starbucks or to the YMCA or anywhere like Walmart? Walmart actually is a really stealth-friendly place, most Walmarts, but just to kind of give you an idea, because sometimes, there's people that prefer to have the school buses because they look real nice, but the reality is that if you're going to move into something like a school bus, then number one, the engine is loud. Most campgrounds are not going to allow you to stay on their campgrounds because the engine is way too loud, and also it's big. Second, with the school buses is that, like, where are you going to park it? You can't pull up at a Starbucks with a big old school bus, right? So if you're going to have a school bus, that's more of a vehicle that you want to leave parked somewhere for a long period of time. So the smaller, the better, but just imagine it depends on your family size and so on. And so for us, I knew that with the RV that I had in mind, I wanted to be go, go, go as quickly as possible. And for me, also wanted something that was already converted, because I'm not a DIY kind of gal. Like, I like to create and figure out a lot of things, but like cutting and measuring and building, that's not me. Like, I don't have the patience for it. There's stuff that has broken in the van. I'm like, simple stuff, like our closet door broke off, right? A couple months ago. I still haven't fixed it. Like, I don't know how. I don't know where to begin. I don't know. I mean, it could be simple for one person, but that's just like not my thing. Like, I got enough going on, and like I'd rather have somebody else do it. So anyways, these are things that I want you guys to think about. And the reason why is because a lot of times people overlook the type of lifestyle that they are going to live when they get their RV. And then what happens is they invest all this money into an RV, and then they become so uh, like not encouraged by the lifestyle anymore for the freedom and the flexibility that it offers, but instead they become really stressed out because they cannot have that freedom and flexibility due to the limitations of their vehicle, if that makes sense, right? So another thing to think about is the type of vehicle that you may have in mind. Is it like, what kind of climate do you plan on sleeping in, or camping in? Will you be camping all year round? Some vehicles, they need to be built for all types of climates, because most of these vans that you see people living in, excuse me, not the ones that are the camper vans, but the standard kind of vans that are just like vans, literally, and then they just ripped out the seats and they put beds in. Those are cool, but the reality is that they are not built for people to camp in climates that get really cold. Our van is insulated so well, guys. I cannot tell you how many times we have slept where it was so cold outside, but we didn't even feel it because our van is that insulated. Like, they built this thing to last, guys. I kid you not. And I am not sponsored by Ford. I would love to work for Ford. I don't think they make vans like this anymore, but let me tell you, we're trying to hold on to this bad baby, because like, I have not seen another van built like this yet. I have never seen another van anywhere that even just paid attention to the minor details, such as having carbon monoxide sensors. We have 2 fire extinguishers, multiple ways to exit the van. That's another biggie. If a fire starts in your van and you cannot get out, you only have one way to get out. Think about that. These are things that people often do not think about. Another thing to consider is the van or RV that you're thinking about, can you insure it? There's so much stuff that people just tend to overlook. And I know if you're watching this, it's natural to feel a bit overwhelmed, but it's better to feel overwhelmed before you make a big investment in your RV, opposed to having your van or RV and feeling so stressed out because you can't have a peace of mind. You're being harassed by the cops 24/7. You don't know where you're going to park it. It might be hard to resell. You're not going to get what you paid for it, or maybe you made a big old investment converting it, and now, you're just limited. There's just so much that can happen. And so it's really important that you, in your mind, design the ideal lifestyle that you desire, right? Which is typically going to be based off of your means of living, right? So how are you generating income right now, or how do you want to generate income? So for example, for me, I can work from anywhere in the world because I work on my laptop or on my cell phone. So I am going to spend a lot of time in my RV because I don't need to be really anywhere else. And this is where I'm the most comfortable. I keep all of my devices and everything right here. It is like my office, my everything. Sometimes when I want a better connection for Wi-Fi, I go in places like Starbucks and so forth. But overall, what matters is that I'm comfortable in this RV. I've got a printer in the back. I got everything I need right here. But we are expanding, and I am getting a travel trailer in a couple weeks, if you don't already know. And that is mainly because we've outgrown our van. It's just time to get more space. Because we've got merchandise and all kinds of neat stuff. So anyways, I want to talk about the different types of RVs or vans that you can get for this van life journey, because a lot of people think, if they're not that familiar with van life, they think it's all about just living in a van. Like, you have to live in a van in order to do van life. But the reality is that van life is actually a culture. It's a culture of people that decided to live unconventionally in vehicles for several reasons. But to sum it up, for freedom, for flexibility, And you know, having a vehicle that you can live in, it literally can help you like escape from so many situations that can actually benefit you in the future. For example, after we moved into our RV, I was able to pay off so much debt. Why? Because I no longer have rent to pay, right? All I have to do is put gas in this bad baby. I no longer have so many utilities. So if you can just kind of imagine, like when I put gas in this vehicle, I'm actually going places. So anyways, you have standard vans, you have Class B vans, like the one that I'm in. Then there's Class C vans, which are a step up from this. They're usually a little bit wider, have a little more space in the cabin, but they require a little bit more. So you often see more Class C vans in campgrounds. Then you have typical RVs, which, I mean, everybody knows what a standard RV looks like. It's massive, really wide, usually is a bit taller. Um, then you have the school buses that a lot of people are converting. There are also camping pods. There's trucks with camper beds. People are converting horse trailers and even ambulances. So I've seen some cool conversions, guys, like really impressive. But these conversions can be a lot of work. And so, again, you have to think about what kind of person are you? Do you want to have a converted vehicle? Who's going to convert it? How long is it going to take? And you know, what's that investment going to cost you? And so I paid $4,900 and I got everything built. Like I didn't have to do anything. And so I don't know about you guys, but that's just what I need. And the only cons is that the gas mileage is 8 to 11 miles per gallon because it's not meant to be an average everyday vehicle. And we can only go about 52 miles per hour without feeling like we're really like pushing it on the highway. Because Big Bertha, I mean, she's heavy. She's really, really heavy. So if you could just imagine, like, you know, we're not pushing like crazy on the highway. So going back to what I want you guys to be thinking about, if you're just now joining this video, I welcome you guys. Make sure you comment below. Let me know who you are. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments as well. Okay, what else did I want to talk about here? All right, so a lot of people ask me about the repairs that we've needed to have and the troubles that we may have had having an older vehicle. And I want to share that with you because sometimes people, they feel as though they need to buy a newer vehicle because they won't have to worry about repairs. And that's not necessarily always the case because every vehicle is going to need a repair. And the newer the vehicle, usually the more expensive it's going to be because nowadays our cars are so smart that there's computers in them and technical issues are a thing. Like, it gets pretty pricey. Luckily with the older vehicles, you don't have to worry about that. The downside is sometimes the parts can be a little bit hard to find, but they're always there, and you know, they're cheap. And so in the 2.5 years that we have had our van, within the first month we actually had to replace the entire engine. I think that we bought it like that. Maybe the person we bought it from, they knew that the engine was going out. I don't know, but we had to replace the engine. We've also had to replace a battery, an ignition module, a fuel pump, a radiator, and 4 tires. That's it. So to some people that might seem like a lot. To me, when I think about how much money I have saved in rent, because I haven't paid rent in 3 years, okay, or having a electric bill or a gas bill, you know, not having to pay for hotels, not having to rent a car when we travel, things like this. When I think about how much money I've saved and the fact that I also don't have a car payment, and get this, but wait, listen to this. My insurance, guys, is less than $300 a year. A year. Can you believe that? A year. I used to pay, okay, I used to drive some little fancy vehicles too. I used to pay, man, I think like $250 and up on full coverage insurance on my vehicles, right? Because when you got a bank note, when you're making a payment and that vehicle's not paid off, you always got to have full coverage insurance. And if you've got a newer vehicle, it's expensive. If you're younger, it's expensive. And so if you can just imagine, like, what I weigh out is how much money have I been able to save. And for me, being a single mom and an entrepreneur that's, you know, um, hungry, just trying to thrive, my goal was to eliminate as much financial stress as possible so that I can focus on what really matters. And that is, number one, my son. Offering him an amazing, unique level of an educational experience that, like, you can't even put a dollar amount on. And number two, being able to pay off debt and then also invest money that I'm saving into my business and my purpose, right? Because ultimately, when we do what we know what we're meant to be doing on this earth, it makes us feel alive. So, that brings me to back to your ideal of your dream lifestyle that you want to live. As you all are looking at different types of RVs, have you considered what kind of career that you want to have or that you currently have? And can you show up to work with that RV, right? That van or RV. Another thing I want you guys to think about is, where are you going to park it in the event of an emergency? What we do, I remember when my father passed away, and like within a week I had to get to St. Louis, Missouri. I didn't know where I was going to park my RV. So what I did is, luckily I ended up being able to park it at a friend's place for a couple weeks. But in the future, whenever we needed to get somewhere, like ASAP, like whenever I would have a speaking gig and I needed to go park the RV for a little bit and hop on a plane, I found that being able to have a Class B RV, I could park it at places like a U-Haul or even a standard parking lot with a cheap monthly fee or a cheap weekly fee. That worked out pretty well. And so, you know, these are things that I want you guys to think about, because sometimes people, they overthink certain things and they never get started. But I want to really share and give you guys the peace of mind to know that when I started this van life journey, I didn't have anything figured out. I didn't even know where I was going to go. I started this van life journey just because I wanted an all-inclusive solution that was going to allow me to have a lot of flexibility. And, I really wanted to use this van as a vessel and a tool and almost like a magic school bus, for my family. And so, everything is figure outable. So in this video, if you watch it to the end, you might feel a little overwhelmed, and know that that's okay. I just want you guys to start with a vision in mind. Think about how you're going to generate income. What is the RV that suits that particular lifestyle? Know that everything is not permanent. You can always upgrade or change your rig if that doesn't work out. But I really just want you guys to consider, like, how to just design that ideal lifestyle so that when the reality is there, you are already prepared. Because let me tell you, the first 30 days of van life are going to blow your mind away. Like, moving into a vehicle is no joke. It takes a while for the mind and the body to really slow down and accept that you no longer have to be scattered, going all over the place to find resources, because most of the things are right inside of your van. So what I mean by that is, like, if you are truly nomadic and if you don't have a brick and mortar job where you need to, like, go to that place, and which is fine, I would actually recommend that a lot of you guys move into your van or RV before you jump off into full-time entrepreneurship, if that's what you want to do, because you'll have a steady source of income, because entrepreneurship is hard. But we'll save that for another day. Because if I could do it all over again, when I moved to California, oh my goodness, I would have got an RV instead of, like, spending all my money. I had thousands of dollars that was gone in like 3 weeks, but I could have bought a van, and I could have been, anyways. So I'm gonna take a moment to halt, really quick and read some of the comments, see what you guys are saying. I see a lot of people that are online. Hey, what's going on? How are you guys doing? I know it's like lunchtime for, I mean, not lunchtime, dinner time for a lot of people, but I wanted to hop on here and make this video before it got too late. I'm going to be looking at my notes to see if there's anything that I have forgotten. Oh, okay. Other things to consider. Real life, van life. Okay. What you see on Instagram is not reality all the time. Most of the time when you see people's RVs, they look all clean and all polished and this and this and that. Whatever RV or van that you choose, you have to keep in mind that you are going to have to become a minimalist, okay? Every single thing in your RV needs to be like multifunctional. Everything. So when you guys are looking at your RV, consider how much closet space that you need and how much stuff you're going to get rid of. And let me tell you, the more you can get rid of, the better. Seriously. Like, the more creative you'll be, the more resourceful you'll be, you'll save more time and energy, and it's just better that way. Trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me. If you have this idea that you're always going to be camping near the ocean, you're wrong. Sometimes people see vans or RVs that are camped on the beach, and let me tell you, first off, you can't even camp on the beach in a lot of places, and you have to have the right tires. Plus, some of these people that are camping on beaches have no idea about high tide and low tide, and then they end up in a flood, right? Because it's a full moon, high tide comes in, and now they're stuck, right? So, we like to camp near the beach, but we're always at a higher elevation, usually not on the sand. And what we found from spending long periods of time camping near the ocean, or longer periods of time, not even like that long, is that when you park near the ocean, your van or RV will get rust spots. So be prepared for that. Know that any van or RV, no matter what type of rig you get, it will require you to be moving in it, because some people think that like living in a van is all about being parked down by the river, and that's not reality. In order for your vehicle to keep like going and be in working order, it needs to move. The battery needs to be charged. There's parts that need to be oiled and so forth. And I think you guys already know this, but I'm sharing this with you because no matter what kind of rig you get, if it's big, the bigger it is, the slower you're going to travel, because it just takes more time, energy, and money to move it, right? So you really have to be mindful and think in advance of where you would like to park it. So anyways, if you are watching this video and you have learned anything new in this video, please feel free to share. I am actually going to jump off of here and finish the blog for this video, and when I am finished, I'm going to post the link in the description here so that you can get a more condensed version of this conversation. I just wanted to kind of like throw up on you a little bit of some things that really need to be considered before you go and invest in an RV. Oh, but how can I forget? Wait a minute. Record scratch, where to buy, right? Let's talk about where to buy your RV. Okay. Auctions, okay? You can buy your RV at a local auction or on eBay. We bought our RV from rvtrader.com. This is a great website where serious buyers post there because they have to pay a fee, and that's where we got ours. Facebook Marketplace is a really good place, but there are scams out there, so you have to be very, very cautious. And what I would suggest is shopping around to local RV dealers. But if you do, here's a little tip. Apply for financing if you're not paying cash with a credit union. You'll get a lower APR, and you'll save thousands of dollars on how much you need to put down up front. You can also look into national RV dealers. A lot of times they will offer transport services so that you can, they'll bring your RV to you no matter where you are. And a lot of times they offer warranties and different things. And I've heard some great things about places like Camping World, Giant RV, PPL. These are just some places to name a few, but there's tons of RV dealers. So it's important that you do your research, you make sure it's a good fit, and just do a lot of homework before you invest in an RV. Because if you are not buying an RV that is something that you want to have for a long period of time, when you go to trade your RV in, you want to make sure that you're not upside down. Because if you're upside down, then it's not going to help your financial future. It's in fact going to hurt it, because you'll be rolling in a whole bunch of debt into your new car payment, or, where, whatever you want to call it, however much it is. So, some say as soon as you buy a new RV off the lot, like, the value of it drops significantly. And if that is in fact the case, because whatever your APR is, then, like, are you willing to eat up the loss if you want to trade in? So these are just a couple things to think about. What I like about our van is that we don't have a car payment, period. I don't ever want to have a car or a vehicle payment, because the reality of this lifestyle is that sometimes people think that because you live in a van or RV that you have zero expenses, and that is not necessarily the case. Stuff is going to come up. There's campground fees, gasoline is going to be your greatest expense. You still have basic things like health coverage that you need to pay for, and insurance, and emergency situations for any type of thing that you can think of. Like, what if something happens to your van or RV where it catches fire, or it's in a flood, or something like that? Do you have an emergency plan in place, or funds, so that you can go somewhere else? So these are just a couple things I want you to think about, but we will talk about other subjects more in depth at a later time. But I am actually going to go ahead and jump off this video, because we've got some driving to do tonight. But if you were tuning in this evening, before I get off here, I just want to say, I'm going to read the comments here. Let me see. Somebody says they want to save money. Someone says, I'm an inspiration. Thank you so much. I am just trying to help the people that I feel like I've been assigned to, that ultimately just want to have a life that brings them so much happy, freedom, and flexibility, so that they can just enjoy life to the fullest, because it's a priceless experience that just is the result of being courageous, doing something different, trusting the process, and just having fun. Or sometimes just peace, right? Sometimes people just want to get away, from people, to have peace. And this lifestyle can also bring you that as well, if that's what you're searching for. So, so anyways, I love you guys. This is Bionca signing off. You guys are amazing. Don't forget, if you have any questions or anything like that, please comment in the description box. We love you. And until next time, promise to prosper no matter what. This is Bionca signing off, and I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.